Hi folks, going to take a little time to talk about how to add announcements and assignments to your Google Classroom. Well, now that your classroom is all set up and you've invited your students, you can go ahead and start assigning them some different things to work on. To do that, you're going to start on your stream, and you're going to look on the lower right hand corner for the plus button. Once you click the plus button, you have your options. You can create an announcement, an assignment, create a question, or reuse a post that you've already put up there before. So announcements and assignments and questions, you pretty much set up the same way. It has the same format. So let's say we want to send out an announcement. An announcement is just a message that would go out with your class. This is not work for them to do. It's just something for them to read. Maybe, hey, we're meeting in the library tomorrow, or found this great article. Why don't you look at it? You can simply create the announcement. And then if you needed to, you can attach a file from your computer. The second symbol here that looks like the recycle symbol is your Google Drive. So if there's an item in your Google Drive that you'd like to share directly from there, you can click on that and it will open up your Google Drive folder, and then you can attach the document from there. You can also share a YouTube video by clicking on that and searching YouTube, or if you have the URL, you can copy and paste it by clicking on URL and pasting it right there. I'll just cancel that out. And then if you had a link to another website, you can paste that link right there. This comes in handy if you wanted to send your kids to another website and didn't want them to have to type it in. For example, if you're coding with kids, you can, send them to Codable or Scratch, whatever you're using. So that's announcements. Assignments work in a similar way. You can click the plus button and then come on up and hit Create Assignment. I'll just close out the little tutorial and give your assignment a title. So maybe we'll call this a narrative essay. That's what I want students to work on. And then give them some instructions. You have a feature here where you can put a due date on it and time. So if you wanted to change the date, you can click on it. The calendar pops up. And you can put a time on it if you would like. If you would like no due date on the assignment, you can simply click the X button and it will give it no due date. I'll give it a due date right here. So once I have that here, I can go ahead and assign it. I'm not adding anything to this because students are going to start working on this assignment directly from Google Classroom and create their documents there. And I'll show that in a moment. So once I'm all set, I can assign it. If I'm not ready for students to see it, I can just come over here and hit Save Draft. And then you'll notice I have up here on my stream a little bar that says Draft. Students do not see this, but you as a teacher can see it. So when you're ready to assign it, you can go ahead and click on this and hit Assign. So I'll put that assignment out there. Now, from a student perspective, when a student logs into your Google Classroom, see my stream was updated, I can hit Show. So now I see that assignment is here. I can click on it here to open, or I can click on it here to open. Either way, it's fine. So once it's all set, Google Classroom kind of mimics your Google Drive. So if I had something I wanted to upload as part of my assignment, I can upload it from my drive, add a link or a file. But since I need to start creating my essay, I can simply come to the drop down for Create, and here I have the option to create some different things: docs, slides, sheets, and drawings. So since this is a narrative essay, I'll do it in a document. So I can create a document, and remember, I'm working as a student. And then that document pops up for me with the name of the assignment with my name attached to it. Automatically, this document is shared with the student and teacher. So as a teacher, you can go on and monitor the work of your students as they go along. So if I'm a student and I'm ready to start writing my essay, I can click on it over here. And then I can begin working on my essay. Once again, in Google Docs, everything keystroke is automatically saved, so there's no save button. If I'm a student, I'm done working on my assignment for the day and I want to go home and finish it, I can simply close it out, log off, and then go home, sign back into my Google Classroom, open up the assignment, and then when I click it, I'm ready to go. Nice thing about Google Docs, when you create in Google Classroom, it gives you the option to turn in. So when my essay is complete, I can click turn in. It will prompt me to make sure, hey, do you really want to turn this in? Yes. Now, a nice feature is once the student turns it in, they can no longer work on it. So, for example, I've turned it in, and let's say I want to go back and change it. I can't because it turns view only. Once an assignment is turned in, it locks the editing privileges for students, so they can't turn it in and then go back and make changes in the meantime. It's a nice feature. This is, but let's say I'm, turned it in early before the due date of the assignment. Doesn't mean I can't work on it anymore. Anytime up to the due date, I can click unsubmit, and then I can bring that document back to me and then open it up and continue working on it. So that's a little bit about assignments. I'll do another tutorial about how to give your students templates to work on assignments. That will come next, but we'll continue looking. So let me go back to the teacher view. So I've created an announcement. I've created an assignment. If I wanted to create a question, this is almost like a discussion forum that you have here. So you can actually put questions out to your students and they can answer them and comment back to other students. So, for example, I can ask a question, give them instructions if I need to, put a due date on the question, or I can do no due date. I'll do no due date for this time. I can choose if it's short answer or multiple choice. Multiple choice is great for doing polls. We'll talk about that in a little bit later in another tutorial. But you can put the questions out there. If you needed to attach something for them to look at before answering the question, you can do that here. Here you have options. You can have students have the ability to reply to each other, or you can have students edit their answer once they've submitted. So whatever you choose. It's often nice to have students be able to reply to one another. So a typical assignment is, I'd like you to post your answer to the discussion question and comment on one or two classmates. So once again, I can save this as a draft and launch it whenever I'm ready. But I'm going to go ahead and ask the question. So you see it pops up in the stream, and then on the student page, I'm just going to give it a second here to come up. And I'll go back to my stream as a student. Oh, and then there's my question right here. And I can give an answer. And what's nice is from the teacher screen, I can see my classmates' answer. I can see who replied as a student. And from a teacher, I'd be able to look over all my students, see their answers, and give them a grade if I would like. So that's a little bit about announcements, assignments, and questions. I will go in deeper with a few more tutorials to follow this. But again, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment feature in the Google Plus page, and I will add a tutorial there. Thank you.